Alright, we're live. I'll let the Discord know, let a few people join, then we'll start the video. Alright, there we go. Posted it over on the Discord. What's everyone saying today? Let's check out what's going on in the charts. Set up my Brave charts. Load up the chat on my iPhone. Alright, I've got chat on my phone so I can see what everyone's saying. Alright, what the viewers saying, how's everyone doing? I know I say this every stream, but I'm gonna make this this stream quicker than the other ones. Probably like an hour or so. Banter Boy first in the chat, how you doing my friend? Let's go. Alright, I think I've got everything I need. Everyone who's in early, make sure to smash the like button. Last video, last live stream did really well on likes. Definitely helps out. To buy a skateboard in the chat as well. What's up? We're still super shaky, but Bitcoin is still outperforming all the altcoins. Any bullish vibes? Not really. I mean, short term you can argue that we're still a tiny bit bullish, but like I've been saying my last couple of videos, I do think Bitcoin is macro moving down to 22k. I have been saying I do think we are going to see a bounce in the next 2 weeks, but it's just the price action is looking more and more disappointing every day. Let's check out what the total market caps are saying. So this was still holding up yesterday. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good for the altcoin market cap. Total crypto market cap. Yesterday we were sitting at the 618 fib. If I zoom out to the weekly time frame, you can see this was the most important level to hold, and yesterday we were literally lollygagging on the 618, and now we've broken down. I talked about this in my videos, but if the total crypto market cap does break down, it's very likely to come back down to the 786 Fibonacci, at least the 786, and that's going to wipe out, you know, half a trillion worth of gains in the crypto market. I almost find it hard to believe that the crypto market would move back below 1 trillion, especially after coming up to 3 trillion, but we could definitely come down to 754 billion. Total crypto market cap is breaking down. As always, altcoins are looking worse though, because if we look at the total too, we've got a bear flag on the altcoin market cap. We could have been setting up something like an inverse head and shoulders, but the chance of that breaking out to the upside has now failed, and it looks like we're moving down. We're already moving down for the altcoin market cap. Others is heading down as well. But yeah, altcoins are looking worse than Bitcoin. So still, my macro opinion is unchanged. I think, I mean, for the next 2 weeks, it could go either way. I feel like it's almost impossible that we wouldn't be having a bounce over the next 2 weeks, just because we would have been putting in 10 red weekly candles to the downside. So I think at some point in the next 2 weeks, Bitcoin is going to have a bounce before the FOMC meeting. But yeah, it's giving such mixed signals right now. We just keep on chopping sideways. It's been super boring. Banterboy, what do you think about JASMY? I haven't checked out JASMY yet. I will check out JASMY now. See what it's saying. Rob, how are you doing, my friend? Drago Origins in the chat as well. Always good to see. How are you doing? Alright, so yeah, we'll check out JASMY. What is JASMY saying? Need to move this chart over here. So JASMY. The last time I checked JASMY out, it was basically just being really flat. Check out the Bitcoin pair over on JASMY as well. It's 5% up on the day. Yeah, I see it's up against Bitcoin. It's breaking out of the 13 EMA. But once again, I wouldn't put too much weight on the 13 EMA while we're trending sideways. We're coming into resistance right now on the BTC pair. We're in a pretty nasty downtrend, even if we have broken out. This is why I'm not the biggest fan of trend lines in the first place, because you can draw them 1,000,001 different ways to make it look like we have had a bullish breakout, but it doesn't look bullish to me. This is the Bitcoin pair specifically. I'll check this one out afterwards, because I imagine most people are interested in how the altcoins are doing against the US dollar. US dollar, pretty bearish. Once again, like, I really hate drawing trend lines. I'm not even going to focus on trend lines on this. Maybe one to the downside. Let's say breaking to the downside would not be good on this one. Let's zoom out, because I haven't looked at JASMY in so long. So macro term, you still look like trash. Let's clear up some of these drawings. So it looks like, let's go over to the Japanese. Yeah, I didn't notice this before, but you have broken down below the previous accumulation range, which is never a good sign. Here we had a pretty concrete double bottom, and now, unless this is going to be some type of expanded flat correction, which I'm not the biggest fan of in the first place, I think the breakdown is much more likely. It seems like we're in something reminiscent of a bear flag, bearish pennant. JASMY USD at this moment in time. I'm not the biggest fan of this chart. I'm not going to take the price target of that. Let's go back to what we had before. So macro term on JASMY, you're super bearish. I actually think JASMY is going to be hit super hard when we do have this capitulation. What is the problem is with this as well? The market cap isn't correct over on JASMY, and I made a video about this. I think if we type in JASMY Etherscan, we should be able to find the token distribution of JASMY. And where's the pie chart of this? Token holders chart. If we look, Binance currently holds like 10% of the supply just by themselves. And CoinMarketCap says there's only 10% of the supply out. So unfortunately the market cap for JASMY over on CoinMarketCap is wrong. You can verify this by going on Etherscan, because bear in mind JASMY is an ERC20 token. You can verify its token distribution. But the market cap of this, whatever it is wrong. And we probably could get capitulated a lot harder. So fully diluted market cap is so exponentially higher than what this is. Obviously about a 10x higher. So there could be a lot more liquidity in JASMY that could exit the market before we get bullish. Momentum indicators, squeeze bomb is running out of momentum. We're heading back down to the downside. And this makes sense because as of the time on the daily and the 4 hourly, well, every time frame, you're currently below the 13 EMA. And I say this, the 13 EMA is basically useless when you are trending sideways. So depending on how you want to draw this, if you want to consider this going sideways, which I also kind of would consider going sideways, so you'd be waiting for that next major rejection off the 13 EMA. Let's see, from where we are now, the 618 fib, basically 1.1 cent, round it up to, yeah, round it down actually. 1.1 cent, that almost perfectly lines up with the 618. So if you see JASMY move below 1.1, it's probably going to move back down a lot lower. Like I said, I don't want to make like a half an hour segment on JASMY where I go through and add up all of the tokens in distribution over on JASMY. That way we could actually find the correct market cap. Because right now the market cap would be 58 million if the circulating supply was 10%. But as you can see over on Etherscan, Binance literally holds 10% themselves. JASMY developer holds almost 5%. And then you've got a plethora of, 1% wallets. The 1% wallets have been going down. So it seems like the distribution of JASMY is getting a tiny, tiny bit better over time. But still, the distribution of JASMY right now is pretty dire. And I would be saying this is going to go down. Macro term, like I said, very, very poor. This red trend line as well, this is basically your last line in the sand. And that also pretty much lines up with the 618. So once again, macro trend line, 1.16. Fibonacci, 1.113. Round it down if you want. Bless me. Round it down if you want to 1.1. Like I said, a break below 1.1 would literally, in my opinion at least, a break below 1.1 would catapult JASMY all the way down. Let's see where this would take us. Almost a 65% drop. So this could be brutal. Let's say at least in the short term, JASMY is probably likely to move back down to this trend line, as we're not showing any strength in the market right now, unfortunately. So yeah, JASMY's pretty dire. JASMY BTC as well. I think this is the chart that most people should do their TA on. Because, bear in mind, I always say this, but if you're buying an altcoin, you're taking on tons of extra risk than if you were just buying Bitcoin. And I'm not like a Bitcoin maxi or anything. To some extent I am, but in terms of making money, altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin in bullish cycles, and Bitcoin is going to outperform altcoins in bearish cycles. So when we are in this bearish cycle, which we're clearly in right now, then expect Bitcoin to be king. And this is why when you quantify these altcoins against Bitcoin, you can see it's just a straight line down. So bear in mind, if you're buying JASMY right now, I do think this could get a lot uglier. Like, from where we are right now, my conservative breakdown target would be a 35% drop. And I've had some pretty wild targets in the past couple of weeks. Like, if you've been watching my videos, I've had some brutal targets, which, I don't know, to Moon Boys might seem like out of pocket. Like, I think once we broke down from this trend line on Green Satoshi token, we were calling for like a 70 or 80% drop. And we literally went down like 72%. Like, a lot of these altcoins are going to continue to get slaughtered. JASMY BTC is no exception. So right now, I don't think it's the time to be worried about what's going on in JASMY. I think it's Bitcoin accumulation season. It's the same with most of the altcoins. All the alt BTC pairs are bleeding. Let's read a couple comments. Tiago, what's up, my friend? Oh god, as I've read everyone else's name, I have to say, what is it? I have to remember the meme. Uvar wenyem, unya twem wen, uvgar wem boem osas. Hello. Couple of bless yous, thank you. It's hay fever season. Every time it gets sunny in the UK, and there's just hella pollen from the flowers in the air. It's just sneeze nation. You probably noticed I've literally never sneezed in any of my videos in the past week. I've been sneezing like crazy. Allergy season. Danny B in the chat. Hi Cowboy, thanks for your work. What do you think you can review Crypto.com in this video quickly? Yeah, we'll check out Crypto.com now. Yeah, no worries, Banter Boy. We were all bullish on sneezes. So yeah, we'll go check out Crypto.com. But yeah, wrapping up on JASMY. For all of these altcoins, I think it's much more important that we look at the Bitcoin pairs, which is what I'm going to do for all these altcoins, which is why I've got 2 separate tabs up here. But I do want people to recognize people that are asking for altcoin pairs, and I understand people want to see how their favorite altcoin is performing right now. But you know, all of these charts look the same. So for example, this is Crypto.com against Bitcoin, and you can clearly see Crypto.com is going down against Bitcoin. It has not been outperforming Bitcoin since July of 2019. So that's literally pretty harsh, to be honest. And I used to be a Crypto.com bag holder. I got into Crypto.com before all the Matt Damon ads, and after they switched from, what was it? Was it MCRO, and then they switched it over to CRO. Somewhere around about here is when I got in. I got in before all of this massive rally, but the problem was that I had a lot of my Crypto.com in one of their Visa cards. So basically, I watched my investment go up like almost 4x. And because I staked for one of their higher tier Visa cards for 6 months, I basically had to wait. And I sold, I can't remember exactly where I sold, because basically when was the time that Crypto.com changed the Visa card status? That's when I sold all my Crypto.com. I think it was somewhere around about here. I made a video on this, to be honest. Let me check, because I made a news video when Crypto.com changed over their, what's it called, their tier system 1 month ago. It was 1 month ago. Let's see, what date did I post this? So the 1st of May. I believe I sold on the 1st of May, so it's been a while. I want to check how that's been doing. 1st of May. Where were we on the 1st of May? Wow. Yeah, you can literally see when I sold. When I sold and when I made this news update, if you go back to that video on the 1st of May, you'll see that I said I sold because Crypto.com changed their fundamentals with the Visa cards, and they kind of wrecked a lot of people with that. So this is where I think we're going down to next. I'll add that back in a second, but almost a 46% discount since I sold my Crypto.com. Oh, sorry, this was sold on the 1st. So this was here. And let's assume that I did it about halfway through the day, because I didn't catch it the moment that it happened. But yeah, like I said, about 46% decrease from when I sold my Crypto.com. I'd definitely be interested in buying back my Visa card if we enter, you know, all the way down into like the 10-cent territory. But let's check out what is going on the USD price. So first of all, obviously this is, no matter how you draw this at this point in time, even if you draw it all the way back from here, which I wouldn't do, when I'm drawing the start of a trend on a fib, I always want to make sure that the trend came back to either the 618 or the 786. So for example, something like this, you know, the start of the trend, you came up here, you capitulated below the 786, so, you know, I draw this over to the next amount. The trend from here, you held the 618. So if I was to draw this from anywhere, I'd draw it from here. Or I'd draw it from this impulse here. But no matter how you draw it, you know, there's no way to sweeten up the deal on this one. Crypto.com is extremely bearish below the 786. We don't have a plethora of data traded between the lows and where we are right now, which is why I think, but to be fair, it's not too much of a drop to the downside. So Crypto.com USD price, we have broken below this bullish pennant, or this bearish, not bearish pennant, below this bear flag. We've broken below this bear flag, and for the past couple of days, we've been lollygagging in the 13 EMA, which is never a good sign. The last time we lollygagged in the 13 EMA after a breakdown was here. So I think for the next couple of days, Crypto.com is likely to see some chop action. Honestly, I know this is probably not what you want to hear, but for the next couple of days, I really don't think we're going to do absolutely anything. But the direction of the next move, I do think is going to be back down to this 14 cent. And I predicted this a while ago, 13th of May, something like that. I haven't changed my target on this for a couple of weeks now. But from where we are, Crypto.com USD is likely to move down another 20%. And like I said, I was actually a huge fan of Crypto.com, and you can literally verify that because if you search on my channel and type in portfolio, something portfolio, if you type in portfolio, you should be able to find it. But I made a breakdown of my portfolio, which I have updated since then. I've commented on the video and letting you know that I have changed basically almost everything. But I was a huge Crypto.com fan, and Crypto.com has, you know, they've changed their fundamentals with the Visa card, which they said was to have longevity in the project, which is fair enough, but they could have, you know, done it gradually. They could have asked for community feedback. They basically just do the most disgusting things to their community, and then they react when their community are upset. Like quite recently, they made it so all the Luna traders, people who were trading Luna and made profit on Luna, they reversed all of those trades. And once again, they backpedaled on that once they got a bunch of backfire. But Crypto.com is a mess. They've absolutely ruined their chances of being a top exchange, in my opinion. And like I said, the next level down for Crypto.com is to come down to this 14 cent. I may consider picking up my Visa card again somewhere around about this region. But you know, the problem is, you know, I was willing to have one of their Visa cards because it was actually worth it to me for the price that I was staking at that period in time. Like, let's say, for example, if I wasn't even staking for an investment, I was just staking for the benefit of cashback, that benefit is not there. And I don't even think the benefits would be worth it if we drop 50%. So I'm still kind of looking for lower price targets for Crypto.com, and I imagine a lot of other people are as well. So we're probably going down. The next level from here, 11 cent, and then all your lows down here. If we break below the lows around about 7 cent, then Crypto.com is probably going to have a pretty harsh time getting about. But bear in mind, this is my least bearish price target for Crypto.com against the US dollar, a 20% drop. If we lose that, we could go down 36%, and we could even go down about 60% all the way down to 7 cent. I would not, bear in mind, I would not think this is outlandish, because if you look back at what Crypto.com was around about this period in time, there was so much benefit for people staking Crypto.com, and because of that, you know, the token supply got locked up, and at this moment in time, the fundamentals are completely different. So Crypto.com does not have the same fundamentals, the same strong fundamentals as when it was running all the way up to $1. So that's definitely something to take into account. Crypto.com is really fallen out of favor with me. I've actually gotten all of my money out of that exchange, and I'm only going to use it for altcoins that I can't find anywhere else. But yeah, Crypto.com, pretty much a shitcoin at this period in time. Crypto.com is dead. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's dead, but it's definitely on life support. I would agree with you if you said it's on life support. I think Crypto.com's going down, and we didn't really look too much at the Bitcoin pair, but my last Crypto.com Bitcoin video, I said we were at least going down 35% because I see us at least backtesting this trend line. And once again, you know, Crypto.com around these periods in time, the fundamentals are completely different. So we are in uncharted waters. I said I think we're going down about, you know, 35, 36%. We've gone down 7% already. So I do think Crypto.com could capitulate another 30% against Bitcoin. And backing this up, I mean, just look at the Bitcoin dominance. It's going up day after day after day. Bitcoin dominance is breaking out. And if you don't, if you're maybe new to the markets and you don't understand the significance of the Bitcoin dominance, The Bitcoin dominance is simply, say, you've got the total crypto market cap, right? That is an amalgamation of all the altcoins in the crypto space. You add all of those market caps up together, and whatever Bitcoin's market cap is out of that big pool of cryptocurrencies is called the Bitcoin dominance. So, you know, if the total crypto market cap is 1 trillion and Bitcoin is worth 500 billion right now, then it would take up about 50%. And this is pretty much where we're at right now. And when the Bitcoin dominance moves up, it simply means that it doesn't matter whether money's going in or out of crypto market caps. It doesn't matter if the price of Bitcoin's going up or down. It simply means that money is flowing out or money is flowing into Bitcoin faster than it is with other cryptos. So Bitcoin dominance moves up, Bitcoin is going to outperform altcoins. And this does not happen too often. Like, bear in mind, most of the time, almost all of the time, the Bitcoin dominance is going down, meaning that, you know, altcoin seasons are here, new bull markets are here, and people are shifting over to altcoins. It's not that often in the space of the Bitcoin dominance that we do have these rallies. I mean, sure, this one happened over the course of 2 years, but other than that, you know, the Bitcoin dominance was going down from 2014 to 2018. This was 4 years of going down. It pumped for 2 years, and then since then it's been going down for about a year and a half. So most of the time the Bitcoin dominance is moving down. There's very, very few times in the markets that I would say become a Bitcoin maximalist, forget altcoins, because Bitcoin is going to outperform altcoins. But this is basically what we're seeing right now. You know, you can see it in a ton of charts. For example, go over to Total 2. This is the total crypto market cap minus Bitcoin, so basically the altcoin market cap. And you can see this orange line here, 678 billion was your 618 fib. And we're capitulating below this bear flag right now. So altcoins, in my opinion, they're literally sitting on the cusp of a massive, massive capitulation. And this is not something I've been talking about, you know, fairly recently. If we go over to my Twitter, because I've been talking about this for like a month now, I swear. I've been saying altcoins are going to get wrecked for so long. Let's go back further. Yeah, it was before this. Yeah, so the 10th of May, this is the earliest tweet that I remember sending. I said it before on the Discord. But this is almost a month ago now. And I was saying, you know, I love being a moon boy when things are bullish, but at this moment in time, I think altcoin holders are going to get slaughtered. And my views on this have not changed. I've been saying this for the past month now, and I know it's super boring. I mean, as a crypto YouTuber, I wish I could say that things are bullish 24/7. I'd get more views, it'd be more fun to record these videos, but just looking at things objectively, I mean, the Bitcoin dominance is going up. I mean, that chart speaks for itself. We're clearly super bullish. Bitcoin dominance up about, I was about to say 20 basis points, but it's up 0.2% on the daily. 4-hourly time frame looks good. You're just constantly building support as you go. So yeah, I would not count Bitcoin out right now. At this moment in time, I'm basically in full Bitcoin accumulation mode. And I think all of these altcoins, no matter which ones we're checking out, they're probably all going down. Got a couple comments, let me catch up. What about waves? Yeah, we'll check out waves in a second as well. Let me add it before I forget. So waves, I'll get waves BTC, and then I'll read the rest of the comments before we jump into this. Banter bro, I have in my wallet Gala, Shib, SLP, JASMY, FTM, want to hold for a year. Which one do you think is weak that I can change? All of them. You said you want to hold them for a year. In my opinion, the Bitcoin dominance is going to be going up for the next half a year, 6 months or so. So if you're asking for my opinion, if you care about my opinion, I think that we're setting up a stage like this, and we're somewhere round about here, which means that I think the Bitcoin dominance is going to go up about another 30%, And that probably means that all of those altcoins that you just mentioned to me, they're probably going to get wrecked against Bitcoin. There's no easy way of saying that. I think if you are holding a lot of altcoins right now, then you're probably better off holding Bitcoin. Like I said, I was here in this previous market cycle, and everything lines up. The charts line up, the market sentiment lines up. It's exactly 4 years later, just like a 4-year market cycle. We've got inflation running rampant. The Fed is increasing the interest rates. We've got talks of World War III, crazy geopolitical news. I think the market's entering a risk-off stage, just like they were here. And I think the Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to move up. So in my opinion, if you're holding anything other than Bitcoin, you're probably going to get wrecked. So like I said, I mean, what did you say? Gala? I mean, let me just show you a quick example out of all of those cryptos that you just went through. So look, this is JASMY. This is how JASMY is performing against Bitcoin. From this peak, JASMY's down 94% against Bitcoin. Gala. This is how Gala's performing against Bitcoin. So you can see out of just these two, you would have been better off holding Bitcoin. This is down 83%. This is not against the US dollar, this is against Bitcoin. It's down a lot harder against the US dollar, but if you were simply holding Bitcoin, so for example, if you held 1 Bitcoin worth of Gala all the way up here, you currently, you've lost about 83% of that valuation on the Gala pair. What were the other ones you said? FTM dot BTC. Let's see how Polkadot's doing. FTM, BTC. I don't think I've checked out these Bitcoin pairs, but I can almost guarantee they're going to all look exactly like this. What do you know? DOT against Bitcoin. DOT has not been outperforming Bitcoin since May of 2021. It's probably going to move down lower, about 70% down. And wow, look at this. FTM against Bitcoin is getting slaughtered. And you've got a ton of volume coming in right now. Volume's indicative of price. I think a lot of these are going to go down a lot lower, and just from experience, I always say, I basically came into the crypto markets as we were kind of shifting into the first bear market, which kind of sucks because I wish I could say I was here for the 2017-2018 bull market. And I kind of was, because I did hold Bitcoin, but I wasn't heavily in crypto at that time. So I basically just had a bunch of random stuff on Coinbase. It never took up any of my time. I didn't even know we were in a bull run when I was holding crypto. But I started to get into crypto as we were breaking down, and then the Bitcoin dominance started to move up as we were breaking into a bear market. And when you see altcoins go down 90% against Bitcoin and people think those are cheap altcoins, which I mean, I understand they kind of are, but I literally, the last bear market, I watched altcoins do exactly this, where they lost 80% of their value against Bitcoin, and then they went and lost another 80% after like another 6 months or so. So all of those cryptos that you mentioned to me, I do think they are going to get wrecked against Bitcoin. So, and especially if you've got a time frame of 1 year, I would just say either hold Bitcoin or don't even be in the crypto markets. Like, if you were to say, I think DOT is a great long-term project and I want to hold it for like 5 years, which I don't agree with anyway. I don't think it's a good idea to hold altcoins for too long. I don't think anyone should marry altcoins, but if you were gonna, pick an altcoin that you wanted to religiously DCA, then maybe pick one and DCA if you want. But at this moment in time, I'm not doing that with any altcoins. And I've been saying that for the past month, and for the past month, we've been getting wrecked against Bitcoin. So it's been good sitting in 90% Bitcoin. Ape Tech, what's up? How you doing, my friends? Is that Laura? What's up? I don't know how I say the first part of your name. I'm gonna try and pronounce it, but I'm gonna probably make a dick of myself. RK Lilara? I don't know. I've got no idea. It says Laura at the end, so I'll just say Laura. What's up? How you doing? Blitzwin, Bitcoin heading as high as 31k before mega dumpy, bottoming around the Fed meeting. Bottoming around the Fed meeting. I think the complete opposite. I think that Bitcoin if we are going to bounce, I think we're going to bounce in the next 2 weeks. And I think the next FOMC meeting, which is on the 15th, we're going to massively capitulate into this. If we go over to the FOMC countdown, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange are predicting 100% likelihood of a rate hike once again. The last, if we go over to historical, I believe it was the 3rd, no, it was the 4th of May. So if we look here, the 4th of May was the last Fed meeting where they raised the interest rates. And if we go over to Bitcoin's price, go over to the daily time frame, let's clear this up. Literally, I don't even need to look at the chart because I can look at it and know exactly when the Fed meeting was. This was what happened after the last Fed meeting when they raised the interest rates. So the Fed raised the interest rates, we went from here, and we literally capitulated 36% within 9 days, 8 or 9 days. So I would strongly disagree with that. I think if we are going to bounce, we're going to bounce soon. If we are going to dump, we're going to dump. But then, no matter what happens coming into the Fed meeting on the 15th, if the Fed increases the interest rates, then I think we're going down. That's just my opinion. But basically, every single time the Fed has increased the interest rates, it's always been bad for the markets. So, yeah. Danny B, yes, Cowboy, I agree with UO. Could you please look at waves too? Yeah, we'll definitely check out waves next. I've got my waves USD and BTC chart here. It's kind of pumped so hard after the last few days and kind of going sideways now. Yeah, running out of bullish volume as well, but yeah, we'll check this out in a second. Ape Tech, Blitz, I think your target is the second wave correction. Jakes with the 5, appreciate that, my friend. Do you think CoinEx is a good exchange? I currently can't withdraw Cadena from there. They tell me it's due to update of KDA withdrawal service. If I'm completely honest, I've never used CoinEx in my entire life. And if you asked me like a month ago, I would have told you my favorite exchange was Crypto.com. But at this moment in time, I really only stick with Binance and Coinbase. And I don't even like using Coinbase either. Literally, I predominantly use Binance. If I need to find like an altcoin that is not going to be on Binance or Coinbase, then I'll use either Binance is my first choice. If it's not on Binance, it's probably going to be on KuCoin or Crypto.com. Those are the exchanges that I use. But yeah, unfortunately, I've never used CoinEx, so I won't be able to answer that one for you. Can you even put Cadena on a hardware wallet? That's what I want to know. Because if you can, there'd be no point in having having an exchange other than for the fact to buy Cadena. Cadena Ledger Live. Let's see if you can put it on Ledger. Ledger support for Cadena. So Cadena is not supported on Ledger yet. Maybe there's not a wallet that you can put Trezor. Does Trezor support Cadena? This was November, ages ago as well. When will Trezor support KDA? So I think you can use Trezor if you're using the wrapped ERC20 version. But yeah, I've never used CoinEx, so unfortunately I'm not sure, my friend. Apologies for that. But it's not a good sign that you can't withdraw your KDA. But you should definitely check out if it's if it's like a network upgrade or something though, because quite recently I wasn't able to withdraw Solana from either Binance, Coinbase, or Crypto.com. I tried for multiple days and it just did not work because the Solana network was having some messed up type of outage. So maybe they're just having a network upgrade. Ape Tech massive dumpy to around 22 to 24k for wave 3, then flatline boring wave 4 or corrective move up a bit before final wave down to 18 to 20k. Yeah, I don't know about 18 to 20k. I think it's I've said this basically every video now, but 22k and literally like 19, 20k would be my absolute lowest. I would be astonished if Bitcoin managed to capitulate below the previous all-time high. And I know that we're in, you know, crazy market conditions that we've just not seen before. Like throughout Bitcoin's entire existence, and throughout my entire lifetime, which is, you know, much more than double Bitcoin's existence, the Fed has not increased the interest rates like they have now. So if there was going to be any time that we were going down to those bearish price targets, then it probably would be this cycle. But yeah, I'm still calling for 22k. Ape Tech trying to get people into the Cowboy Discord. I'm just reading a few comments and then we'll check out waves like I said we would. What did Ape Tech say? I'm sick and tired of this wave 4 now. Sideways action after we're at 20k or instant bull run. I think after we're at 20k. So I've said this before, but this is what I think we're going to do for the market. So I think, you know, fair enough, like it doesn't really matter what happens in the next week or two. If we move over the 300 week to the 100 week, I don't see us going above the 100 week. So whether we go for the next 2 weeks, whether we're able to have a move back up and then a move down to the 200 week, or whether we just have the move straight down to the 200 week, which I find is the least likely scenario. Either way, I think we're going down to the 200 week. But what I think is going to happen is we're gonna go down to the 200 week. I think we're gonna have an accumulation range, something like this. I think we're gonna go sideways for the good part of maybe 2 months. I think it's going to be boring sideways action for a month or two. But I think after we do come down to 22k, that would be the absolute bottom. And I don't think we'll be going back down after that. I think something like this is going to happen. And then I think we're going to go all the way up, maybe to 45,000. And then come all the way back down, maybe to 29. 29 is what I find most likely. So I think we're going down to 22, going back up to 45, going down to 29, and then I don't think we're going to go up like this. Like I've just kind of drawn this as a line of best fit. If anything, I kind of think we're going to do something like this and just go sideways, upward sideways accumulation. Why do I think that we're going to go down to these lower price targets and then have such a big move after the accumulation range? Where if we go back to what we did before, you can see pretty much identical market structure. You broke down, you had this accumulation phase over the course of 21 weeks worth of data. So we literally trended sideways for months. So once again, like I said, I think we're going to trend sideways for a couple of months, 3-4 months, while we are in this accumulation range. And then I think we're going to have a big run up. Massive run up, which is obviously going to be a lower high. I think this is going to be coming up to 45. Then I think we're going to be coming all the way down, just like we did before, to 29. And then what's interesting is you go back to the previous structure from the 2013 bull run, and you did the exact same thing. You know, you had this mass capitulation. I think at this point we came down to the 300 week, which this is the 300 week. But depending, obviously we don't have data from here, so we really don't know if it did come down or not. You'd have to mathematically add up 300 weeks worth of data, and that's not something I'm gonna do. But you can see, you know, mass capitulation. We literally trended sideways for, once again, this was like a year, almost a year. So you've got a good track record of breaking down into these super bearish phases, going sideways for months, and then going on big rallies. This time we didn't have so much of a correction. It was more of a slow grind up. But I think something like this is going to be happening. Maybe it'll be an amalgamation of the both. But 22k, sideways chop, massive blow up, massive blow. What's the word for that? Not blow off top because it'd be a lower high. Massive run up, massive run down, then another run up towards the end of the year. So yeah, we'll move on to waves. See if I've missed any comments. No worries, banter. Can I check out Quant? Yeah, we'll check out Quant after waves. Blitz, I think price action will be explosive after we bottom. I think too many people are waiting on the sidelines, and the fact we didn't get a blow off top to stay down very long. Yeah, we didn't get a blow off top, but I also don't think that we should expect a blow off top every market cycle, because we're gonna have diminished returns, and the same way that we had diminished returns to the upside, we're probably also gonna have diminished returns to the downside. But I don't know if you. I mean, this is the M2. Even this, I mean, I think a lot of people are underestimating what a blow off top, or they're overestimating what a blow off top can be, because here you can see, you know, this was a massive run up from the low all the way up to the high. This was a clear blow off top. I think this from the low up to the high, I also think this is a blow off top, like especially if we came all the way down. I think everyone would be calling it a blow off top, but people aren't calling it a blow off top because we went down and then went back up. So we're definitely seeing things different than before. But on that same accord, I just don't think we're going to see the same blow off top every market cycle. Have I deleted everything on this chart? There we go. Ape Tech, I think things are moving 30 to 40% faster compared to 2018. I think the market cycle is basically the same though. From the top down to the capitulation range, that was 345 days. From this top down to the capitulation. So we're moving a bit faster on the capitulation. But what's interesting is from market cycle top to market cycle top, from here to here, we saw a perfect, you know, 4-year cycle. From here to here. Oh. This was also, you can see, I mean, tiniest bit off, a couple of weeks off, but this was once again like another 4-year cycle. So, all right, I'm gonna jump into waves now. So starting off with waves USD. I mean, the volume that we've been seeing in the past couple of weeks has been good in itself, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We're already running out of momentum, and I feel like I could just finish this off by saying, you know, we had a huge run up, not supported by volume anymore, and now we're just trending sideways, so we should probably expect to move to the downside some point soon. But, you know, apart from that, this is on the daily. If we go to the weekly is not done yet. So hopefully next week, well, I mean, I say hopefully, but I don't hold waves, so I mean, it doesn't affect me too much. But I think all we're seeing is a dead cat bounce right now. On the weekly time frame, literally what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, and this was 2 weeks before, so 2 months we moved down about 94%. So I think this is long overdue that we're about to have this bounce, but I don't think that we are going to be seeing the bounce for too much longer. I wonder if the week... Yeah, this weekly would have definitely been bullish on the Heikanashis. But we're still below major areas of resistance. I've got a support range from this accumulation range. And also the most important level to get above is still $11.80. So basically call it $12. Until we get above $12, then literally nothing has changed for waves. And I said this in yesterday's stream, and I also said it the day before when we were somewhere around about here. Because I remember saying we're going to move up about 30% on waves. And we're up about 8%, 7 or 8%. I do think it is potentially possible that waves can move up a tiny bit more. But that being said, waves is super, super macro bearish. The only good thing I could say about waves is that its stablecoin USDN Neutrino managed to almost return back to its peg of $1. So I think that is why waves is seeing this big bounce. You can really see only in the past couple of days or so, waves has switched, or USDN, waves USDN Neutrino has managed to come back to its peg of $1, which is why we're seeing this bounce over on waves. Lower time frames, you did break out of a bull flag as well, which is further fuel to the fire, in my opinion, of why waves will be coming up to $12 within the next couple of days. But I'm not bullish on waves. I think waves has not got good fundamentals. I also don't particularly think that it justifies its market cap at this period in time. Even after the mass capitulation, $1 billion for waves is absolutely ridiculous. So I think waves is one of the ones that will continue to get hit hard coming into the next drop. 1 second, by the way, I'm just going to get a drink of water. I'll be back in a sec. Right, I'm back. Alright, I'll check out how waves has been doing. I'll check out how waves has been doing against Bitcoin as well. Still in a slight uptrend from 2019, which is interesting. Waves is an OG crypto, but still super, super bearish. I mean, you can draw it something like this, but waves has basically been in a downtrend against Bitcoin since 2016. So, yeah, I would not hold waves for the long term whatsoever. If you were looking to trade this in the short term, then by all means trade it against the US dollar, try and make more US dollar, but waves Bitcoin is basically garbage. I think this is super, super bearish. And this also justifies why we're seeing a pump right now, because the weekly EMA ribbons, at least on the Bitcoin pair, have just flipped bearish. This is probably why we're seeing this. Waves USD as well is probably just coming up to get rejected from the EMA ribbons. So yeah, waves is not bullish at all in the long term. Really not a big fan of waves, and the market cap absolutely overextended for what it is. Also, I can't remember if I answered this question from Lara. Would I ever buy Crypto.com again? Yes, I would buy it from maybe 75 to 80% discounted from when I sold it. If we hop over to the daily time frame, I sold it about, I think I marked it No, I didn't mark it, or I must have deleted it. I wish I could sell it. I wish I could say that I sold on the literal exact moment that they announced that they were decreasing the card rewards. But unfortunately, I didn't find out until it capitulated about, good 5% or so. So round about this period in time, round about 33 to 34 cent is when I sold my crypto.com. So it's about 46% cheaper from when I sold. But I would need a big discount in order to be interested in crypto.com again. And the only annoying thing is, if we do come down to this discount that I would be okay with, we'd be back testing the lows. So we'd need to see some pretty big bullish impulse and some good... There needs to be fundamental changes. I don't think I can invest in crypto.com unless they sort out their fundamentals a tiny bit. But yeah, I would consider investing as an investment, but would I invest for like the long term for one of their Visa cards again? Maybe, maybe not. Really depends on their fundamentals. Daniel asking for KDA. Yeah, sure, we'll check out what's going on with KDA. I'll load up the oh, KDA is having a nasty day, actually, down 5%. We'll check that out in a second. Lots of talks of a recession / stagflation next year. I suspect well back a blow off top before then. Or will Bitcoin be considered a risk-on asset by then? Bitcoin's already considered a risk-on asset. Bitcoin, crypto, any crypto is definitely risk-on. It's all risk-on, definitely not risk-off. Risk-off would be things like gold and fiat. Although I don't personally agree that from a fundamental perspective, Bitcoin should be considered a risk-on asset. I think when you understand Bitcoin, technically it's like the least risk-on asset that you could possibly own. But other people don't understand that. People still think, and while Bitcoin does behave like a risk-on asset, I mean, we can talk about how great the fundamentals are of Bitcoin, and we can say that, Bitcoin has no risk over the long term, and I would pretty much agree with that, but risk on assets do not go down like 60% in a couple of months. So Bitcoin is a risk on asset, and if it is a risk off phase, then people will continue to leave Bitcoin. But I think we've already seen peak inflation. So I think if anything now, I mean, we're already experiencing stagflation. That's what we've moved on to. I don't think the recession would be coming next year. I think it's either going to slowly bleed into the economy if the Fed keeps on increasing the interest rates by 50 basis points, or if the Fed becomes too kind of hawkish and they increase the interest rates dramatically, then we could we could be in that recession in the next couple of months. I mean, it's already starting to head that way. Ape Tech, damn, Cowboys mansion got squeaky doors. I definitely don't live in a mansion. Even if I was like a millionaire, I wouldn't have a mansion. I don't like big areas. Much prefer apartments. Blitz, Win. Oh, this is a response to someone else. I don't know what average production cost is for Bitcoin because there are tons of different models and their ratio. But Google says 15k average. What is that to mine one Bitcoin? Could you have a look at Ethereum by any chance too? I remember you saying it did better than other altcoins compared to Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll check out how ETH is doing in a sec. Los as well, yes. Quant, we will check out Quant. So, alright, I'm gonna go through these charts, and then I'll check out the comments again, and I'll probably wrap things up very soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap things up after these requests actually. So, how do I change the color again? So let me add a quant before I forget. Laura, I killed your name. I'm just gonna say Laura because yeah, I can't. I want to pronounce it again, even though I'm gonna slaughter it. But yeah, I wouldn't even know how to say that. It looks like a Greek or a Cypriot name. So quant, just off first glance, quant does not look good. I don't think we've got a quant BTC pair. Oh, we do. Apparently we do. Where is my quant BTC pair? I've got quant by itself. Alright, let's get rid of quant BTC. Oh. Maybe I don't have a quant BTC chart. Okay, apparently I don't. Wow. Okay, so this is what I'm saying with these altcoin pairs. I think it's super important that people look at how these altcoins are performing against Bitcoin, because any altcoin can perform well against the US dollar. If you're buying an altcoin, you're taking on extra risk than if you're just buying Bitcoin. And look at this. I mean, quant against Bitcoin is in price discovery to the downside, which is not a good sign. Let's see if we've got any macro quant BTC charts, because the Binance chart is literally going to price discovery to the downside. Oh, here we go. We've got a more macro chart here. Okay, so yeah, I knew I had a quant BTC chart somewhere. But this quant BTC is literally sitting on its last legs. And apparently, I haven't looked at quant in ages. I don't even think I drew this on the table here. It must have been at least 3 weeks since I checked out quant. But apparently the last time I checked out quant, I thought it was more likely that we were going to break down to... We've got a wick down here, and the rest of this box is coming down at approximately 0.0016. So, quant against Bitcoin, I think quant is probably going to move down about another 25% against Bitcoin. And like I said, I will check out the USD pair, but I literally think, I can't emphasize this enough, but everyone needs to look at the Bitcoin dominance. If you're invested in altcoins right now, you are fighting against a trend, because the Bitcoin dominance looks like it wants to keep on going up, and I've been saying this for weeks now. The Bitcoin dominance is going to keep on moving up, and altcoins are going to keep on getting wrecked against Bitcoin. So, you know, it doesn't matter, but, you know, every altcoin BTC pair we've been looking at today has just been a slaughter fest. And bear in mind, I'm being conservative and drawing this fib all the way up to the candle wick. If I drew it down to the candle body close, you know, or to be fair, the 786 would be lower. I'm just tripping at this point. But even so, we would be coming down to these lows if you do capitulate below the 786. And on the daily time frame, I wouldn't say this is a bearish pennant. This would be a super ugly... Yeah, this isn't a bear flag or a bearish pennant that I can see. It was much more black and white over here. You can see beautiful bear flag, beautiful bear flag. And right now, I think we're just chopping into the downtrend. So I would be expecting that quant is going to be moving down within the next couple of days. Well, it's already moving down here at this moment in time. But within the next week, this trend line is going to be pushing us down below the 786. So, and like I said, Bitcoin dominance looks so good right now. Quant looks really, really bad. I'm not going to lie. The BTC pair, like I said, this is the main thing that we need to keep our eyes on. Because, you know, I'm going to keep on saying this. I'm not going to get bored of saying this. But Bitcoin is going to keep on outperforming all of these altcoins. And quant against the US dollar has already capitulated below both of the 786s that we would have, because bear in mind I said if we draw this down to the candle body close, we've got a slightly more conservative 786. This must be down to the weekly candle body close, which yes it is. But no matter how you slice this, Quant has broken super bearish. Quant USD, I think both the BTC and the USD pair are below the 13 EMA. And I would just like to highlight, since we capitulated below this at $140, we came into this at 129, had a strong move down to 117. After that, had a strong move down to 106, had a move down to 101, moved down to 76, and now we're currently getting rejected from this at 67. So if we were to follow the trend of this, Quant is probably very likely to move back down. But bear in mind, the USD pair, we've been in this tight range for quite some period of time. So in the next week, the next couple of days, Quant's probably moving down to, you know, $40, $50. We have support at $50 exactly, which means that even being conservative in the next honestly, I think the next few days, like by Monday probably, but at least in the next week or so, I think Quant against the US dollar is probably moving down to $50. After then, I think it's moving down to $35, and if it doesn't hold 35, like, I don't want to predict lower than 35 because that's already pretty brutal, but $23 would be the next target to go for. Bear in mind, volume is exponentially decreasing, so it seems like open interest in this market is kind of leaving. Let's see. Not the moving average. Momentum indicator of choice is kind of trying to flip bullish, but we're coming into the 13 EMA, and also the bear what's it called? The EMA ribbons, textbook rejection every time we've moved lower. We've only had 3 rejections on this, and we've pinged down every time. So Quant is probably going much lower in my opinion. JASMY and ZIL, yeah, I might quickly check them out, but like I said, I'm going to be wrapping up the live stream in a minute, and I have already covered JASMY, so I won't have time for ZIL today, but I will just reiterate what I said on JASMY. But all of the altcoins against Bitcoin, just check out the altcoin BTC pairs. It's probably better to be in Bitcoin either way. Lost Terrell again. Thanks, Cowboy. You've been helping me learn for a few months now. Glad you found. I'm glad that you find the channel valuable, my friend. It's all good. Will you be doing Sol TA today? I hope I'm not too late to the party. Yeah, we'll quickly check out Sol as well before we wrap things up. And also Ethereum. We will check out Ethereum. So other than that, I won't be checking out anything else because I won't have time after that. I mean, it will be coming into about midnight from where I am, so I want to start wrapping things up soon. So what do we say? We said we do KDA, ETH, Sol. Where's my ETH chart? Alright, we'll find that in a second. Let's quickly check out KDA. So I'm going to quick fire through these. KDA, I mean, it's super bearish. I've been saying this in all my videos. I've been covering KDA since $6.50. It's done nothing but moon, the opposite of moon. It's been mooning on the inverse chart. If we invert this, you can see it's going to the moon. It's probably going back down to these lows. So if we look at what KDA is doing, and we've just slipped on the daily below your 786 fib. So from this low to the high, your 786 fib, you can see we bounced on this. We tried to come up. We had a rally, bottoming out, came up, got rejected from the EMA ribbons. We broke down to the 618 fib, bounced up to the 0.5 and the 382, got rejected from both of those. Broke down, bounced on the 786, confirmed the 618 as resistance, and we also confirmed the 13 EMA as resistance, and now we're moving down below the 786 fib. So it's pretty textbook bearish. We've come up to all of these higher levels of fibs and got rejected each time. So There's a decent amount of selling volume as well coming in. 113,000 worth of volume traded on the daily for Cadena. On the 4-hour, you can just see a ton of volume came in as we were breaking below the 786. Because of that, our momentum indicator of choice, being the squeeze mom, is heading back over into the bearish side of things. Daily time frame, yeah, for the past couple of days, well, I mean, you could even argue this because we've been almost entirely in a bear trend for this since February of 2022. So if you've been buying the dip on KDA for the past 4 months, you've basically been getting wrecked left, right, and center. And specifically, since I started making content at this, I've been super adamant that altcoins are not the type of cryptos you want to buy the dip on. At least that's my take on things. Everyone buys the dip on altcoins, it seems like it. But I don't know any other YouTuber. I think I'm the only YouTuber who has this opinion. But I think DCAing altcoins is a terrible idea. I think if you don't understand TA and you're a fan of the project, then maybe DCA into altcoins, that would be a good thing. But if you do understand TA and you look at the chart and realize that we're in a massive downtrend, which is categorically defined by a moving average, an EMA ribbon, a trend line, whatever it is, then it doesn't make sense to DCA until we have a breakout. And that's still my opinion. KDA is literally down at 193. This was the previous all-time high back in May of 2021. So if we keep on moving down, which in my opinion we are, we're going to move all the way down to approximately the next price target, backed up by actual levels, is down here at 79 to 80 cent, which I do think we are moving down to. And let's see, so the last time we talked about this, I said I think KDA is going to drop 70% down to 80 cents. So I was calling for a 70% drop, and we're down 25% already, and I'm still calling for another 59% drop on KDA, which is absolutely brutal. But if you're like me and you've been looking at KDA with me, we've been covering this since 650, all we've been doing is looking at, you know, the trend. We've been looking at the EMA ribbons, and every time you come into these, you get rejected, 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 rejected. We're simply waiting for something like this. It's super simple. You wait for a breakout, you wait for the EMA ribbons, which have been resistance for months and months and months now, to flip bullish, and you get in on the start of an uptrend. And I will be updating you when I think that's happening. But KDA, and I've been saying this for a while now, but I think KDA is going to much lower prices. I think we're going down to $1. That's not backed up by any price target. The closest price target to that is backed up by anything is the 3.618 fib down here at 89 cent. But $1 is the psychological level, and 80 cent is the next level down from there. So KDA against the USD, I think we're going down to either $1 or 80 cent. And KDA BTC, once again, just to prove the point, this is another altcoin, just like all of them, that are massively underperforming against Bitcoin. Since the all-time high, KDA is down 85% against this Bitcoin pair. It's capitulating below the 786 fib. And on the daily time frame, you're also coming down to the 786 fib now. So the last video I made for this, I said we were coming down about another 57%. We're down about 5%, and after the breakdown of the 786, there's really nowhere for us to go. You know, if you were being a moon boy and you were saying, you know, what if we double bottom and W out, then, you know, so be it. But I think the volume is pretty indicative of the price. What's going on the USD pair, where we've already capitulated, or we're starting to capitulate below this all-time high, I think is going to bleed into the Bitcoin pair, because we're literally sitting on this last level now. We've already capitulated below KDA's BTC all-time high, and that was actually a leading indicator of what was going to happen on the USD chart. And now the USD chart is going to be moving from the top of this range down to the bottom. I think this is going to be a leading indicator of what's going to happen on the Bitcoin chart, where we're probably going to move down to these highs or these lows, or these highs when we started the uptrend, which once again against Bitcoin is another 55% drop. So be prepared for another big drop on KDA is what I think is going to be happening. So this lines up perfectly. If Bitcoin goes down another 10-15%, then KDA could drop another 60%, and the Bitcoin pair could come down like another 55, maybe 50%. Maybe we won't come all the way down to here. Maybe we'll come down, you know, 50% to this wick. But still, there's lower price targets on the horizon for KDA, in my opinion. So what do we say after KDA? Quant? Did we check Quant? We also said ETH. So I think we checked out Quant. Or did we finish on Quant? I think we just talked about Quant. I'm going to assume that we already did Quant, so if we haven't done Quant, then let me know. But if no one says anything, I'm going to assume that we've already done it and move on. We'll check out ETH, just like I said we will. And then we'll check out Solana. And then, I don't believe anyone asked me for anything else up until now. KNC, I'm unfortunately not going to have any more time for any more altcoins today. How long's the live stream been for? Once again, about an hour and 15. I said I think I would do this for like an hour or so, and as always, I always run way over these because it's coming up for midnight my time, and I do want to get some food and relax, as I've just got back from Kendo, so I'm pretty tired. So Ethereum, we said we'd check out Ethereum, and we also said we'd check out Solana. So I will check out those, and then we will wrap up the video. Before we do go over to Solana and also Ethereum, if you are still watching, make sure that you do, or if you do enjoy the content, make sure to leave a like, as it does help me out. Also, before we do jump over to this, I don't know how many of you have noticed, but if you click on my profile now, we've got a new YouTube banner. So let me know what you think of the new YouTube banner. I definitely like it a lot more. It's a lot more colorful. If you click on it, it's like an orange banner, obviously, for the Bitcoin color, but it's a lot more bold and striking. I don't know, I quite like it. Let me know what you guys think of it. So, but yeah, make sure to leave a like, as I said, if you do enjoy the content. Also, before we do hop over to ETH, I do this all the time. I'm just going to shamelessly plug my Twitter, because why not? If you do want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here at 618_cowboy. This is basically the only social media that I really use. I also do have an Instagram, but I really don't use it too much. So if you do want to follow me on social media, see more personal things, memes, NFTs, me basically making fun of Ripple and Luna, then this is what my Twitter is for. So like I said, if you want to follow me at 618_cowboy, same profile pic as my Discord. And also do make sure you join the Discord. The link will be in the description of this video and on my YouTube profile if you haven't already joined. Couple of people saying looking good on the bio, on the banner rather. Yeah, I also like it a lot. I think it looks a lot nicer. I think the white one, it just looks a little bit too plain before, but yeah. So let's jump into what's going on ETH, but we'll also check out ETH BTC. Where's Ape Tech gone? Ape, you still there? So Ethereum, I remember covering this the other day. I rarely make Ethereum videos. Like, I think in the past 2-3 months on my channel, I've made one Ethereum video, and it was the last week. And I basically said that ETH BTC has massively capitulated below this trend line. And once again, I know that most people only care about the USD prices on these altcoins, but I think it's super important for people to acknowledge, you know, especially if you're in these markets for more than a month, if you're planning on making a trade against the US dollar in the next month, then so be it. But if you're buying Ethereum because you believe that it's going to be a market outlier and it's going to outperform Bitcoin, it's going to outperform all these altcoins, then, and like I said, if you are planning on holding ETH for years and years or whatever it is, you want to make sure that you're able to enter for a good price, at least, even if you are DCAing. And at this moment in time, we've just had a macro breakdown rather. And, you know, bear in mind, this is on a weekly time frame. The weekly EMA ribbons have not even flipped bearish yet. So I think people expecting the bottom is in for ETH now are going to get wrecked. I think ETH is probably going down to $1,000. Is that backed up by any particular price target? Not really. Your 786 fib, which is the closest thing to the $1,000, which if you're wondering why I'm saying $1,000, it's basically a psychological level. And you can also see if we go over to this time frame, if we go back, we'll see if $1,000 was, you know, a big psychological level. Yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time chopping after $1,000. You can see we basically ran all the way up from 724. We found absolutely no resistance until 978, 973. I'm fat fingering it a bit, so it depends on what it is really around here. 972 it seems. But, you know, we broke above this 1,000. We came back down and we back tested 1,000 twice. So 1,000 is going to be a psychological level. People are going to be keeping their eyes on it, and I think if anything, people are going to be getting ready to buy at $1,000. Like, even myself, I'm not even an Ethereum fan. Like, if you click on my channel, you'll see that I never post about Ethereum, and in most of my Solana videos I'll say there are other blockchains out there that do what Ethereum does better, and I'm not the biggest fan of Ethereum. But even me, I'm going to be having buy orders for Ethereum down at $1,000. Like, I don't hate Ethereum. I really don't have anything against Ethereum. I still think it's a good project. And I think it is probably going to slowly over time beat Bitcoin. You can see, you know, this trend line from all the way back here, 2015. Ethereum has slowly been rising in valuation against Bitcoin. But this period in time, ETH BTC has just been in a very big pattern, whether you want to call it a pattern, a channel, or triangle, or whether you want to call this a head and shoulders breakdown. There's a million and one different things you can point to on the ETH BTC chart, but all of them point for lower price targets. We've just broken below a major fib. Being conservative, the next breakdown would be about another 12% drop against Bitcoin. And what makes me think that this is going to keep on rolling down is if we look at the volume is very exponential to the downside. Looking at our momentum indicator of choice, you know, looking at the squeeze mom, we're pulling down. You know, there's bears are in control of this market. Just look at this on the daily. I mean, look at this. Tons of bearish volume coming in. We've just slipped below the 13 EMA and the EMA ribbons. So it's pretty black and white in my opinion. We've just also on the daily time frame, we've capitulated below the previous low. We've bounced up. We're back testing these lows at this period in time. These lows and the EMA ribbons are going to converge into themselves at some point. So you know, I think it's pretty textbook that we are probably moving back down to the downside over on ETH BTC. And for Ethereum USD, we're $1,700 now. You can see how much of a big gap we've got between this double 618 and this double 786. So I was calling for this 30% drop to be happening last week. We've already started to come down, so about another 27% drop against Bitcoin. So once again, I'm going to say this for all the altcoins, but at this period in time, you're probably better off holding Bitcoin, because all of these altcoin pairs, you know, even the ones that were holding up really nicely, like Binance and Ethereum, they're starting to move down now. So let's also quickly check out how Binance is doing against BTC, because this is the most bullish altcoin that we've got against the Bitcoin pair. But at this period in time, we just had a pretty brutal rejection from the 13 EMA. And we're moving back down to this pattern. So I don't think Binance has had its big move yet. I think, if anything, either Binance is going to do a Chainlink and it's going to perform well over the bear market, or we're just experiencing the start of the capitulation, and in which case, probably expect a lot more downside. Either way, I would probably hedge my bets into Bitcoin rather than to this. So we also said we do Sol, so I'm going to wrap up things on Solana now. Like I said, I won't have time to do any other altcoin requests today, but I definitely might do a live stream again tomorrow, or at least we'll make a bunch of TA videos either way. What are the likes saying now? 21 likes. That's nice. We got more likes than viewers right now. If you are still watching and you haven't smashed that like button yet, though, definitely would appreciate it. And also, before we jump into Sol, before I wrap up this as well, if you want to follow me over on Twitter, at 618_cowboy, in case you are new to the live stream. So let's check out Solana, and then I'm going to be wrapping things up. So starting off with the volume on both the BTC pair and the USD pair, Solana is majorly capitulating right now, and it sucks because this was one of my favorite altcoin projects. At this moment in time, Sol is doing really bad from a technical and a fundamental perspective. I don't know how many of you use the Solana blockchain. I use the Solana blockchain more than any other blockchain. So even though like I'm a massive Bitcoiner, and you know 90% of my portfolio is in Bitcoin right now, I still, like the other week in the Discord, I did an NFT giveaway where I bought a Solana NFT and then I gave it away to someone in the Discord. So you know, if you do want NFT giveaways, if you do want to be part of that kind of stuff, make sure you join the Discord, because every month I am going to be giving back to the community. I am going to be buying, you know, Solana NFTs, tokens, coins out of my own pocket and giving it back to the community. So definitely make sure you check out the Discord if you do want to be part of the next giveaway. The last time we had a giveaway, we did an NFT giveaway, like I said. And I was trying to buy this NFT, this Solana NFT from the Bounty Hunter Space Guild project to give away to someone in the Discord. And we wanted to announce the giveaway like days before it happened, but the fact of the matter is the Solana network was down when we wanted to do the giveaway, and I tried for 3 days straight. I had about 25 failed transactions within that period of 3 days where I was trying to use the Solana blockchain. And bear in mind, this was before, like yesterday or the day before, when they officially confirmed the network was quote-unquote down. The past 3 days before that, it was just not running anyway, or the transactions were all failing. At least for me, and I know other people that were using it were struggling. So right now, Solana is, in my opinion, it's really only functionable as an NFT marketplace, and it's not even doing a good job of doing that. So the Solana fundamentals have been flushed down the toilet. I think because of these network outages, my previous price predictions of Solana moving down to $26, maybe even $25, I think that's too conservative. And yeah, that sounds super brutal that I'm saying it's conservative for me to say that it's going to drop down to $19. But bear in mind, you know, I switched bearish on Solana once we broke down below the 786. I've been telling you since $72 that it is going to lower price targets, and thank God I sold my soul, because we're almost at that point where I can buy back my bags for half price. And if you don't know, because you haven't been watching me for too long, but Solana was actually about 33%, 33, something like that percent of my portfolio. So for me to be able to buy that back for half price is definitely a come up. And once again, this is why I'm saying, you know, people think it's boring and you can't make crypto or you can't make money, when I say, guys, now is probably the time to be heavily invested in Bitcoin and forget about the altcoins. You know, I wish I didn't have to say that, because it'd be much more interesting if we could cover altcoins and it was much more bullish, but this is not the market scenario we're in. We have to look at this objectively, and it's not what's happening. So Bitcoin dominance is moving up, Solana is not doing well against Bitcoin, and because we sold, or at least I sold, a bunch of my Solana against Bitcoin, we are still making gains. So, you know, don't think that it's boring to sit in Bitcoin and sit on the sidelines. This is the most exciting time to be sitting on the sidelines, and either sitting on the sidelines in fiat or Bitcoin, because a lot of these altcoins, Solana included, in my opinion at least, like I'm saying, I could be wrong, this is crypto, Solana could literally turn around to $200 tomorrow. Don't think it's going to happen, but I do think Solana is going to massively go down. And like I said, you know, the last time, it was literally a couple of days ago, the last time we adjusted this, I was saying, you know I've been saying we're going to be dropping since 72, but I've been saying we're going to drop another 42. And we're down 16%. We're probably likely to drop another 30%. And just bear in mind, the market cap of Solana is huge. I mean, the last time I checked, this was the same market cap as Nokia. Nokia market cap. Oh, so it's definitely been sliced a lot since then. I must have checked this out like a month ago because it's gone down by half. But the market cap is about half of that now. Um, I don't think the market cap of Solana should be, 13 billion for a blockchain that is still in its beta and not running properly. So, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of the Solana ecosystem at this moment in time, but I still love the Solana NFT community because, the Solana NFT communities, they don't have any hold over what goes on in the Solana network. And I still do think that even though Solana's blockchain is being so terrible right now, I still do think Solana NFTs can survive. Hopefully, if they start sorting out their network a little bit more, like Solana NFTs. I don't know how many of you are like heavily invested in Solana NFTs, but I keep up with the metrics, and quite recently, there's been days and weeks where Magic Eden, which is one of the top Solana NFT marketplaces, has been putting in more volume than OpenSea, which is, the biggest NFT marketplace in the world and the biggest NFT marketplace for Ethereum. So Solana NFTs, I don't think they're going anywhere, but the Solana blockchain is in a sorry state right now. And I thought I was being super, super bearish by saying that Solana was going down to $26. I remember when I first started saying that, because that's what the charts were telling me when it was at like $72. And I was like, I didn't want to believe what I was saying, but I was looking at the charts and that's what the charts were telling me. And now we're down at $38 and $25, $26. Seems a little bit too conservative for a bear market bottom for Solana. So I think people underestimate how low Solana can go. The market cap, bear in mind, is absolutely super, super high for what it is. And that is a blockchain that is kind of struggling to even keep its eyes open. Like, I made a joke about this over on Twitter, but or I don't think I mentioned Solana, but I'm a Bitcoiner and I welcome people to try and attack the Bitcoin blockchain. I think it's hilarious when countries like China or India think they can control Bitcoin. Recently it was Canada. Canada was like, I think they messaged like this hardware wallet company or this self-custody Bitcoin wallet, and they were like, you need to make it so... This was what Canada was trying to do. They were trying to make it so everyone with a Bitcoin wallet, all of their transactions would be like blocked and cancelled. And, these people were like, do you not know how Bitcoin works because you can't do that? And it's so funny. Every country, every person that tries to make Bitcoin their enemy, whether it's China, Canada, India, all of them make an absolute idiot of themselves. Like, China's been flip-flopping between liking and disliking Bitcoin for years now, and they just look like clowns. And it's the same thing with India. India bans Bitcoin, and the same day that they ban Bitcoin, all of the volume from the rupee Bitcoin pairs just moves over to USDT Bitcoin. So people use rupees to buy USDT, and then they use the USDT to buy Bitcoin. Every country, every person who has tried to attack the Bitcoin network has been an absolute failure and been made to look like an idiot. But, fat 20-year-olds in their mum's basement are hacking the Solana blockchain. They're DDoSing it. Solana's getting beaten by a DDoS attack. Like, that's not something you can do to Bitcoin. A DDoS attack is not going to do anything to Bitcoin. You'd need to have, plethora, like hundreds, tens of countries, working together to do anything to have a bad impact on Bitcoin. But fat nerds in their mum's basement are hacking Solana and taking it offline. So Solana, like I said, the network's a joke. I went off on a tangent for a bit, but I do think Solana's going down to much lower price targets. I think it's conservative to say $19, and I guess we'll see if I'm right on that one. But I have been saying this is going to come down for a while, and it does look like we are heading down to that phase. Tons of bearish volume as well coming in. And while this volume is just kind of sticking up like this, I don't think that we should expect much more bullish price action. Solana BTC as well. I'm only going to spend a second on this, but we've capitulated below the 786. We've capitulated below the previous all-time high. We are at least coming down to the 1.618. Let's see. We've already started moving down about another 16% against the Bitcoin pair. But then I think the USD pair I think the USD pair is going down about another 50%. So the Sol BTC pair, where's the next level down? 55%. If Sol USD goes down 50% and Sol BTC goes down 55%, this means Bitcoin would have to pump 5%. So I don't think that would be happening. But the next level down is here. If you want to consider the accumulation range, you've also got touch points here. But Sol BTC, 45%, and that's pretty conservative. The next level down is about another 15 or 16% though. So to wrap up this video, what should you and what do I think is going to be happening for the next couple of weeks over on Bitcoin and the altcoins? I think keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is going to continue to head up. While the Bitcoin dominance is going to head up, it does not matter what altcoin you're holding, you're probably going to get wrecked holding it. Like I said, if we go through all of these charts, you know, these are all the altcoin BTC pairs. This is how Gala is performing against Bitcoin. This is how Ape is doing. Engine, KDA, Dogecoin, Crypto.com, JASMY. You know, JASMY looks horrible. Tron. And bear in mind, Tron looks good in the past month. You zoom out. This is a lower high from here. This is a lower high from here. You zoom out. This is the lower high from here. This is the lower high from here. This is the lower high from here. So Tron has not been outperforming Bitcoin since January of 2018. So yes, we're having a very nice move in the short term. In the long term, nothing's changed. Green Metaverse token got a lot of hype on this one early on. And then as the hype is dying out for the move to earns, massively underperforming against Bitcoin, capitulating below the 786 and wiping out all of the gains that it managed to have in its bullish run-up. Near has broken down from a massive M pattern coming down to the 786. Near is, you know, it looks macro bullish. I can't deny that. Like, higher time frames, am I saying that Near is bearish against Bitcoin? No. But lower time frames, it does look like we are going to move down probably a lot more before we have a turnaround. At least the next level down would be another almost 20% drop against Bitcoin. This is how AMP is performing against Bitcoin. Like, look at these charts. These are how altcoins are performing against Bitcoin. So when people tell me, you know, is now the right time to DCA KDA? I look at this chart and I'm like, God no, hell no. Like, all of these altcoins are getting wrecked. This is what you deal with when you are buying altcoins right now. So bear in mind, I've probably gone through some altcoins that all of you hold. And look at this, Solana. Like, Solana was one of the strongest ones, but it's getting wrecked. It's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. KNC, I know someone asked if I could cover KNC. I won't have time because I am going to start wrapping up this video. But I will just quickly show you the KNC BTC pair. And, you know, we've just broken down from a huge bear flag. Like, we're emming out. We're coming down. This shouldn't be orange. This is not a Fibonacci. This is a trend line that we're sitting on. We're sitting on the cusp of a massive M pattern breakdown. We've just got rejected from both the EMA ribbons and the 13 EMA. KNC, I'm telling you, it's going down. It's going majorly down. Even if we were to come back for a... Bear in mind, if we were to come back for a bullish retest, not a bearish retest, a bullish retest, because this is an uptrending level of support, this is conservative to say that we'd be coming down to here. This is a 52% drop against Bitcoin. So I think everyone needs to look at these charts. Bitcoin is heavily outperforming, and also a lot of people are going to be wondering, you know, a lot of people are going to be thinking, they're going to be thinking, okay, I think Bitcoin has bottomed out. So let's say hypothetically Bitcoin goes down to 22k tomorrow and I'd be live streaming. People are going to be saying, okay, Bitcoin has bottomed now, so surely now is the time to get into altcoins. And I would just like to show you on a lot of these Bitcoin pairs, you know, Bitcoin bottomed on the 10th of December 2018. And if we look at what happened, this is where Bitcoin bottomed, right? So you'd expect that altcoins would outperform Bitcoin. But Ethereum went down almost another 40% against Bitcoin before Ethereum bottomed against Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had its bear market bottom, right? Had a rally. Ethereum outperformed it for like 2 or 3 weeks. And then after Bitcoin came down and came back down for a double bottom, altcoins went for one more push to the downside. So Ethereum went down 40% against Bitcoin, ADA, this is another one. You can see this was a huge market outlier, and I don't think market outlier was the right word. What I mean by market outlier was it was able to outperform a lot of the altcoins in this market cycle. And once again, you can see here, this was how Cardano was doing against Bitcoin, and this arrow here pointing to the 10th of December. Once again, this was Bitcoin's bear market low. Bitcoin came down to $3,100 on the 10th of December 2018. It had its bear market bottom, it had a rally, and a lot of our altcoins bounced against Bitcoin during that time. So, you know, when you think Bitcoin's bottomed, it might be okay to get into a swing trade for altcoins for the next 2 months, but then after that, what do we see? You know, ADA went down against Bitcoin another 53%. And look at this, from when Bitcoin bottomed against the US dollar, ADA went sideways for 784 days. Like, come on, we went sideways for like 2 years after Bitcoin bottomed. And Ethereum did pretty much the same thing. 840 days. Look at this. This is where Bitcoin bottomed on the 10th of December 2018. We went sideways against Bitcoin for 2 years. Am I saying that we have to do the exact same thing as what we did in the previous market cycle? I'm not. I'm not saying that we have to do the exact same thing. But I am saying, however, that at least while the Bitcoin dominance is going up, until the Bitcoin dominance is done topping, there is no point in buying altcoins. So just keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance. If the Bitcoin dominance is going up, doesn't matter whether Bitcoin's going up or down. If the Bitcoin dominance is going up, then it's probably going to outperform altcoins. I think the Bitcoin dominance is coming up to 60%, which would be a modest increase of 28% from where we are right now. I'm sure a lot of you have seen in the past 2 weeks, but really in the past week, altcoins have been massively dropping against Bitcoin, right? So in the past week, how much has the Bitcoin dominance moved up? The Bitcoin dominance has moved up 1%. And I'm saying I think it's going to move up another 30%. I'm telling you, if you were not here in 2018 and you think these are cheap altcoin prices, then you don't know what max pain is. And you'll be glad to not know what max pain is. Like, I was unfortunate. I didn't even get to enjoy the 2018 bull run that much because I got in too late. But I got to enjoy the bear market, and the bear market was not fun. And believe me, you get a pat on the back, you get a shiny medal saying you survived the Bitcoin bear market, but all you're left with is PTSD and trauma. That's a joke, but you know, I do think Bitcoin is going to continue to move down. All these altcoins, they look like they're pushing down, and you know, the past couple of minutes or so, it seems like a lot of these pairs have started to move down as well. What's Bitcoin been doing? Has Bitcoin started to move down? Yeah, it has. Bitcoin is capitulating on the lower time frames, and as you can see, Bitcoin moves down against the US dollar. What do these altcoins do against Bitcoin? You can see these altcoin BTC pairs are already starting to move down pretty fast. So I'm telling you, the trend is your friend, and at this period in time, the Bitcoin dominance is your best friend. So keep an eye on the Bitcoin dominance. I expect this to move up to 60%. When it moves up to 60%, it may be an okay time to start looking at buying some altcoins. This is my idea of a DCA area up here on the Bitcoin dominance. I think people who are DCAing altcoins down here are going to have to, you know, grow grey hairs and pull their hairs out, because for the next 6 months or so, I think altcoins are going to massively underperform against Bitcoin. Even if Bitcoin bottoms tomorrow, let's say hypothetically Bitcoin crashes to 22k tomorrow, I've shown you that, you know, whether we're looking at Ethereum Bitcoin or whether we're looking at ADA Bitcoin or whether we're looking at any of these other altcoins that were back in the previous market cycle, they all underperformed Bitcoin for at least a year. And it was more so 2 years after Bitcoin bottomed. Once again, I don't think we're going to do that again. I think we are going to be in a different type of market scenario. And I think especially with how bearish the markets have been recently, with the Fed increasing the interest rates, you know, everyone expecting Bitcoin to go up to 100k, but we actually just went up to, you know, 69 and then went down. I think there's tons of reasons why this market cycle is going to be different, but nonetheless, You know, the Bitcoin dominance doesn't change. Bitcoin dominance goes up, altcoins get wrecked against Bitcoin. It's black and white. It doesn't matter whether Bitcoin's sitting at 250,000, a million, 10 million, 100 million, or whether it's sitting at $10. If the Bitcoin dominance is going up, it is going to outperform altcoins. So that's basically the gist of it. So we're going to wrap things up here. I'm just going to read the comments. Yeah, let me know what you think of the new YouTube banner, everyone. If you didn't hear what I said before, or if you just joined the stream or whatever, if you click on my YouTube profile now, we've got a new banner, which I definitely think is a lot more, a lot nicer and a lot bolder and striking than what we previously had. And also, if you look at the YouTube over on, over on a PC, you'll see that it's so cool, because over on mobile you can only see up to here, but over on PC you can see we've got the socials tied to this as well. And yeah, I quite like the setup of this. So yeah, let me know what you think of that. As well, before we do wrap up the video, I have no shame. I'm going to shamelessly shill this for like the third time. If you want to follow me over on Twitter, it is here, at 618_cowboy. Like I said, I just post memes, you know, more personal stuff, chart setups, mainly memes, NFTs, and chart setups. Like, that's pretty much what it is. And also making fun of shitcoins. So we will be bullying Luna and XRP over here. If you are an XRP, maxi, don't follow me. You're not going to enjoy what you see over on my Twitter. But yeah, that was the live stream. 26 likes. Can we get the likes up to 30 before we wrap up the video? What's everyone saying? I'm going to read a few comments and then we're going to wrap things up. I'm not going to check out any more charts. Eagle 6. Also James Ford said like button. Appreciate that. Eagle 6. Sitting on the sidelines right now. Yeah, same. Trying hard not to FOMO. Believe me, it's so hard. Like, I've been in these markets for a while. I was in the crypto markets back in 2018, and I traded stocks before that. And it's still hard. Like, it doesn't get much easier. I really want to FOMO into a bunch of projects that I like. Like, right now, I really want to pick up a bunch of this token, which I think is going to do well once the markets turn back bullish. I also want to buy a bunch of NFTs. Like, there's so many NFTs that I want to buy right now. So many. I want to buy a bunch more of these. These are my YouTube profile pick. But I am going to be getting one of these on the Ethereum blockchain, because basically, if you hold one of these NFTs, if you hold a bounty hunter, then you're going to be getting a free NFT airdrop over on Ethereum when they have a project over on Ethereum, which is also super, super cool. Trash pandas as well. These are the two little guys that are in my YouTube banner, which obviously means, along with the profile pic, that none of these NFTs are probably ever going to be for sale. They're never going to leave my hardware wallet. But these are something that I really want to pick up as well. To be fair, they're still performing really well. Like, these NFTs, they're outperforming the rest of my portfolio right now. Like, Solana NFTs, they're outperforming Solana because obviously Solana's going down against the US dollar, and sure, the NFTs are kind of going down against the US dollar as well, but they're upping in Solana price, which is pretty crazy. So Solana NFTs, they're doing pretty great, and I really do want to FOMO in. I want to buy so many NFTs. I even thought about doing like a floor sweep the other day, where I would have just bought maybe like 25, 50, 100 pandas. I would have gone crazy. I really held myself back from going crazy and going crazy FOMO into altcoins and all that stuff and NFTs. But right now, honestly, I think it is better if people just sit on the sidelines. But yeah, people can do what they want. I'm just letting you know what I plan on doing. I understand. I really do understand. I want to buy my favorite altcoins. I want to buy back the Solana that I sold and stake it. I want to buy the bounty token. I want to buy my old Visa card back by staking crypto.com. I want to pick up some Binance. I want to buy Ethereum as well, because I think, even though I'm not a big fan of Ethereum, I at least think the network is somewhat... What's the market cap of ETH right now? So Ethereum, market cap. I mean, the market cap is pretty high, to be honest, but yeah, I think Ethereum is going to be a really nice buy at some point soon. But I do think $1,000 is kind of what I have my eyes on for Ethereum. So I know how all of you feel, believe me. I really want to go back into the markets as well, but it's very, very nice sitting into Bitcoin right now. I mean, if you've been watching my channel for the past month or so, and you've been hearing me religiously say now is the time to be a Bitcoin maxi. I mean, if we look at all of these altcoins against their Bitcoin pairs, in the past month they've been massively slaughtered. So it is hard. I also did buy some Coinbase stock, which is moving down. I mean, to be fair, it's actually the same price. It's probably literally... it's down from $70, so it's down a tiny bit. But Coinbase, it still looks somewhat bearish for the long term. But I did pick up some of this because I do want to hold it for the long term. But I wouldn't hold altcoins for the long term. Joined late Cowboy, do you believe Bitcoin will still move up to 34k region leading up to FOMC meeting? I do think it is likely that we are going to have a bounce up to 34k in the next couple of weeks. I mean, if we don't, then it's going to be a pretty wild ride. I find it incredibly hard to believe, and bear in mind we really don't have any volume traded between 19k and obviously subsequently 22k, so let's just say 22. Even on the daily time frame, I think we literally spent like minutes. We spent no time from 22k right here. So even if we draw it back from the left side of things, not on the retest, so I'm not cherry picking anything, I'm using all the data points. From 22k, we have 20 days worth of data traded. So if Bitcoin does fall below 29k and we put in a weekly candle body close, in my opinion, we'd be coming right down to 22k. And that would mean that we've gone from 47k to 22k without having any balance, which I just think is really unreasonable. So yeah, for the next 2 weeks, I am expecting that we're going to be bullish. And we are still technically just hanging in there because the weekly candle is still green, which is what we predicted. But obviously, we predicted at 29,600 that we'd be having a rally over the next 2 weeks. And we're literally the same price as where we said that. So I think it is likely, in short, that we move up over the next 2 weeks. But then, like you said, the next FOMC meeting on the 15th, I do think we are going to massively dump into that. Damn, I just realised the time as well. It's 12:30. I was going to cook some ramen after this. I think it's too late for ramen. So I'm just going to I'm going to read up these comments, finish the rest of them, and then I'm going to wrap up the stream. Go get something to eat. Maybe play some Red Dead Redemption 2. And then obviously sleep, because I'm not, promise I'm not a vampire. I know I'm streaming at, almost 1 in the morning, but I do sleep, contrary to belief, popular belief. Ape Tech Cowboy, how much do you think they're going to increase the interest rate on June 15th? As much as they did on May the 4th. Yeah, I think they're going to increase the interest rates by the exact same amount. And I think that because, first of all, Chicago Mercantile Exchange believes there's... I'm not even going to go back to the website, but the Chicago Mercantile Exchange thinks there's a 100% chance that we have an interest rate hike. So I don't think it's a question of if we do. I think it's a question of when we do on the 15th. And Jerome Powell has literally been saying for quite a while now that they're going to be increasing for the next couple of months in 50 basis point increments. And they said that they don't think... Jerome Powell specifically said this, who's the chairman. He specifically said they don't think they're going to be seeing... Or they said they would need to see pretty quantitative evidence that inflation is starting to subside, and they don't think that would be happening until September. So for the next 2 FOMC meetings, I think they are going to be back-to-back increasing it by another 50 basis points, then another 50 basis points, then they might chill, and then we'll have to reevaluate what happens with the markets. But I think at that period in time, Bitcoin's going to be round about 22k, and then hopefully the Fed turn from hawkish to dovish, and we move from a 22k Bitcoin up to that 45k bounce, which I think is going to be a hell of a bounce. Thank you, ApeTech. I will have a good night. Or at this point, it's pretty much going to be a good morning, because, I mean, we're already coming past the night now. Or they say midnight, so... James Ford, I appreciate you taking time out of your life to help us get the information and understanding. No worries, my friend. I enjoy doing these, so it's a lot of fun to me, especially making this whole community. Like, having a community of like-minded people is very rewarding in itself. So yeah, thanks for being part of the community. It's definitely a lot of fun. I definitely can't imagine myself doing like a 9 to 5 anymore. That's for sure. I really just want to be crypto 24/7. I never want to work a job again. ApeTech, if BTC goes up to 34k, then 22k bottom is very accurate. If we stay at 30k, then Bitcoin goes to 20k. If Bitcoin do the wave 1 and goes to 25k, then 28k before the meeting, then 18k. Yeah, I think, like I said, my most bearish would be 20k at the previous all-time high, and I don't think we'd be going lower. But, you know, bear in mind, we've never really even come close to the previous all-time high before. Like, this previous all-time high was $1,000, and we bottomed at like 3,000. From here, you know, $15, and we bottomed at 45. From here, once again, you know, $1,000, bottomed at 115, which was miles away from here. But yeah, we are in unprecedented times. We are definitely in a period of time, or an epoch, completely unrelated to what we've seen previously. So if we were going to have any time that we were going to break into some super bearish phase, it would probably be now. But I don't know. I don't see it happening. James Ford, is it 6:30 in the morning where you are? Damn, I hope you got some sleep. But even if you didn't, like, what are you doing up at this time? Good night, ApeTech. Yeah, ramen does sound good, but I think I'm going to have to wait until tomorrow now. I did originally plan on wrapping this up at midnight, or actually 11:30 is what I said, and now it's 12:30, which is like I always say on the streams, I'm going to try and make it a quick stream, because I'll either have plans, or I'll have been busy, or if it's a Friday, I would have just finished practicing Kendo. But yeah, another 2-hour stream when I meant to do... I paused it, I don't know if that's going to affect anything. But yeah, another 2-hour stream after we meant to do an hour-and-a-half stream. 31 likes as well, appreciate it. We managed to hit 30 likes. So that is good. Appreciate you too, ApeTech. You crazy, crazy guy. Cowboy living that crypto life. Well, I mean, the crypto life at this period in time has been like my net worth being slashed in half. But yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Crypto life is a madness. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Most people have left the chat because I've just been chilling and we're not doing the crypto talk anymore. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here. As always, has been good talking to you. Make sure you're part of the Discord as well, because Discord is pretty good. Also, we are going to be running monthly giveaways over on the Discord, so there's really no reason not to join the Discord. Also, as always, shameless plug of the Twitter. I'm sure all of you who are still here have seen this before anyway, but at 618_cowboy, if you do want to follow me over on Twitter. You obviously all have my YouTube. My socials are linked over on my YouTube anyway. If you do want to follow me over on Twitter or Instagram, like I said, I really don't use Twitter. I don't use Instagram, so yeah, take that with a grain of salt as well. So that's all I've got for you today. As always, thanks for your time. No worries. Ape Tech as well. Good seeing you. Yeah, as always, good talking to all of you. Good chatting with all of you. Hope you all have a good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, depending on where you are in this planet. But yeah, as always, not financial advice. Cowboy out. And as always, peace.